Whether by accident or bold creative choices, some movie scenes have become true legends, not because of CGI or editing tricks, but because what happened on set was 100% real. We're talking about raw emotion, genuine pain, and sometimes even actual blood. Today we're diving into movie scenes that weren't just acted, they really happened. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. In Foxcatcher, Channing Tatum didn't just play Olympic wrestler Mark Schultz, he basically became him. In one of the film's most intense scenes, Tatum fully immersed himself in the character's frustration and ended up smashing his own head into a mirror. The glass shattered and the blood on his forehead, yep, that's real. Instead of calling cut, director Bennett Miller just let the cameras roll. The result? A brutally authentic moment that many viewers said was so intense it was hard to watch. Tatum's performance was raw, physical, and deeply emotional, and yet he didn't even get an Oscar nomination. A lot of film critics still call that a huge snub, especially considering the man literally bled for the role. In one of the most legendary improvisations in film history, Dustin Hoffman gave us the famous line, "I'm walking here." But that wasn't in the script. While filming Midnight Cowboy on the chaotic streets of New York City, a real taxi sped through the shot and nearly hit Hoffman and his co-star. But instead of breaking character, Hoffman slammed his hand on the hood and yelled at the driver.
Comes in, you know what I mean? Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
Staying fully in role the entire time. That unscripted moment perfectly captured the grit of his character and was so iconic that it made it into the final cut. Years later, Hoffman joked that if a trained actor had been behind the wheel, the scene would have looked fake.
I would not. What would in my head was, we're making a movie here. And just as I say that, I realized, oh, you can't do that. So the brain changes it. I'm walking here.
Tom Cruise is famous for doing his own stunts, but for Dead Reckoning, he really pushed the envelope. In one jaw-dropping sequence, Cruise hangs onto the side of a flying airplane. Literally, no green screens, no body doubles, just Tom, safety harnesses, and a death wish. He held onto the side of the aircraft as it took off, flying hundreds of feet above ground. It's one of the craziest stunts ever captured on camera, and it proves once again that Cruise is built different. Honestly, it's probably for the best that this is the final chapter in the franchise, because with every new mission impossible, the man finds an even more dangerous way to cheat death. You'd think a Tom Cruise movie would have tight stunt coordination, but accidents still happen. During a battle prep scene in The Last Samurai, a background actor was in the wrong place at the wrong time and took a full force kick from a horse, right between the legs. Yeah, ouch. To his credit, the guy stayed in character and didn't break the scene, even though anyone watching could tell he was definitely in pain. That level of commitment deserves an award, or at least a bag of frozen peas. As for the horse, well, it clearly didn't care about the script and decided to improvise its own fight choreography. Cary Elwes, who played the charming Wesley in The Princess Bride, ended up literally getting knocked out on set.
Have 6 fingers on your right hand. Someone was looking for you.
In a scene where the villain, Count Rugen, played by Christopher Guest, knocks him out with the butt of a sword, Elwes wanted the hit to look authentic, so he told Guest to go ahead and actually hit him. Well, Guest did, a little too hard. Elwes woke up in the hospital with stitches in his head, and the footage of him collapsing made it into the final cut. Ironically, even with a real concussion, some viewers still thought the scene looked a little off. Like, bro, how much more real do you want? This next one is hilarious and totally unscripted. In No Way Home, when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man first shows up through the portal, MJ and Ned aren't sure if he's the real deal or just some dude in a suit. Originally, MJ was supposed to threaten him with a candlestick, but Zendaya had a better idea. She grabbed a piece of bread and chucked it straight at him. Garfield had to improvise his reaction on the spot, and the scene ended up being so funny and natural that it stayed in the movie. He later confirmed the bread toss was 100% Zendaya's idea. It's a small moment, but it shows how great chemistry between actors can lead to iconic scenes, even if they involve airborne carbs. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance in Nightcrawler is already legendary, but one particular scene stands out as both powerful and painful. Literally. In a fit of rage, his character smashes a bathroom mirror. That wasn't in the script, and when the glass shattered, it actually sliced Gyllenhaal's hand open. He ended up needing stitches. Despite the injury, Gyllenhaal stayed in character until the scene was done. The blood dripping from his hand? That's not makeup. That's just Jake being Jake. The scene made the final cut, adding a chilling layer of realism to an already disturbing character. It's no surprise he got a Golden Globe nomination for this role. He earned it with guts, quite literally. Not everything was magical on the set of The Wizard of Oz. During the scene where the Wicked Witch of the West is supposed to vanish in a burst of flames and smoke, the special effects crew jumped the gun and it went horribly wrong. Margaret Hamilton, who played the infamous witch, was still standing on the trap door when the pyrotechnics went off. The flames caught her costume and makeup, causing serious burns on her face and hand. She was rushed to the hospital and ended up spending weeks recovering. When she finally returned to set, she flat out refused to do any scenes involving fire. And honestly, can you blame her? Even today, practical effects can be dangerous. But back in the 1930s, it was basically a safety nightmare. The incident remains one of the most notorious on-set accidents in Hollywood history. The Godfather is packed with unforgettable scenes, but one of the most intense is when Sonny Corleone, played by James Caan, loses it and attacks his brother-in-law Carlo. The fight was choreographed in advance, but once the cameras were rolling, James Caan went full beast mode. He improvised punches, kicks, and even grabbed a metal trash can, beating Carlo so hard that Gianni Russo, who played him, ended up with 2 cracked ribs and a fractured elbow. Despite the real injuries, the scene kept rolling for several minutes, and the final version made it into the movie. It's now one of the most iconic moments in the entire trilogy, known for its raw energy and brutal realism. Russo later admitted he was not okay with it. In fact, he was so pissed off that he almost fought Caan for real backstage. That's how intense the moment was, even off camera. Remember that hilarious scene in the first Thor movie where the God of Thunder tries coffee for the first time at a diner and loves it so much that he slams the mug to the ground, yelling, "Another!" Yeah, that wasn't in the script. Chris Hemsworth completely improvised that moment.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
According to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, the coffee mug smash wasn't planned at all, and the shocked reactions from the other actors were 100% real. The spontaneous gesture ended up adding a perfect layer of humor to Thor's fish-out-of-water character. Fans loved it so much that it became one of the most quoted scenes from the movie, and it helped pave the way for Thor's funnier, more self-aware personality in Ragnarok years later. Margot Robbie's breakout role came in The Wolf of Wall Street, and she definitely made it count by slapping Leonardo DiCaprio right across the face. Here's the thing, the slap wasn't in the script. In the heat of the moment, Margot went full instinct mode and just smacked him hard. Leo, ever the pro, stayed in character and acted like he was about to hit back, which made the whole thing feel even more intense and real.
You vicious fucking cunt! Fuck you, you
The scene turned out so good that the writers actually rewrote the script to include it in the final cut. Later, Margot said she was convinced she was going to get sued, or at least fired. But instead, everyone loved it. And honestly, that scene helped cement her as one of the boldest young stars in Hollywood. Sometimes all it takes is one line to make movie history. In The Empire Strikes Back, there's that famous moment when Princess Leia tells Han Solo she loves him, and instead of saying "I love you too," he simply says,
I know.
"I know." That wasn't in the original script. Harrison Ford thought the original line sounded too cheesy and out of character for Han Solo. He pitched the more aloof, hand-style response, and it just worked. Director Irvin Kershner and Carrie Fisher both loved it. The scene became one of the most iconic in the Star Wars universe. It's cool, emotional, and perfectly captures Han's whole vibe. Tough guy on the outside, softy on the inside. The line has since become a meme, a t-shirt slogan, and even a wedding vow for some fans. That's some serious impact.
I love you.
I know.
Okay, this one's from a TV show, not a movie, but come on, it had to be included. In Wednesday, Jenna Ortega absolutely stole the spotlight with her now famous dance scene at the Nevermore Academy prom. What most people don't realize is that Jenna choreographed the entire sequence herself in just 2 days. With no prior dance training, she pulled inspiration from 1980s goth club footage and classic performances, including a subtle tribute to Lisa Loring, the original Wednesday Addams from the 1960s show. The dance, set to Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps, went viral almost instantly. Ortega's quirky, deadpan moves perfectly captured Wednesday's weird, wonderful energy. Even though it's from a series, this scene became such a pop culture moment that it earned its place among legendary improvised performances. Seriously, when was the last time a dance took over the entire internet?